friends, welcome to CEC lectures. I am Dr. Parveen Sharma. In this session, I will be speaking to you on foundations of curriculum. As we know that there are four foundations: the philosophical foundations, psychological foundations, sociological foundation and historical foundations. Now, in this session, I will discuss with you the psychological foundations of curriculum. We know that psychology is the study of human behavior, how a child behaves, and according to that behavior of a child, teacher has to evolve the various methods because each child is different to another. We cannot deal with every child with the same method. So, we see that the psychology influence the curriculum. So, psychological foundation of curriculum means that when the curriculum framers construct or develop the curriculum, they have to keep in mind the psychology of the learners, what they want, what they desire, and how it should be taught to them, which method and what type of content should be selected for a particular group. So, it is essential for the framers of the curriculum that they know what is the psychology of the children. So, this is what we mean the psychological foundations of curriculum. We know that a child passes through various stages of development. Rate of growth and development of each child varies, and needs and capacities of all children differ. Piaget has given various development stages, and each child at a particular stage has a different rate of growth. So, if the curriculum framers while selecting the content for that particular group keeps in mind that what they want to learn and how they will learn, what is suitable for them and what methods should be selected for them. So, it will not only help the framers of the curriculum in construction of the curriculum, moreover it will facilitate learning in a better way and the children will learn at their pace. So, it also influences the curriculum development. It is expected that school curriculum should be prepared around the basic needs and capacity of children so that their holistic development is possible. These days, we are talking about child-centered education. We are talking about holistic development. We do not want that a child should learn or should acquire the bookish knowledge only. We want to develop our child in all fields. Should be physically strong, should be socially strong, should be emotionally strong. Say, if a child is academically good but not able to adjust well in the society or is not emotionally strong, then the child will not be able to deal with the society, with the peer group, and will not be able to adjust in the real life situation, because after schooling one has to step in the real life situation. So, what for education is? Education helps the child to enter in the real life situation and to deal with them, with everyone. So, we focus on holistic development. Here, the psychology of children is kept at front place. May it be physical development, mental development, social development or emotional development, because while selecting the content for the curriculum, if it is kept in mind that what the children want, what is their psychology, so what is in their mind, what are their desires, and how to make them socially strong, how to make them emotionally strong, and how to focus on their mental development. That will be possible when the content in the curriculum is selected while keeping in the mind of the psychology of the children. Learning experiences related to teacher as well as students, individual measurement and evaluation, all aspects are covered well. Psychologists have brought to the kind attention of all that the tasks which are of the interest of the children or which are according to the mental level, they will learn easily. All the psychologists have brought it to the forefront that if the task which we assign to the child, if they find it interesting, they will find it easy to learn and they will take interest, and they will get the expression of creativity. So this way, if the content in the curriculum is chosen according to the mental level of the children or according to the interest, then they will learn easily. Suppose a child has interest in sports and you want to teach music to that child, will the child take interest? Never. So that is what we mean by this psychological foundations of curriculum. So it is the duty of the teachers and the parents to identify the interest of the child, and according to that interest, that portion or that content from the curriculum should be taught to that particular child. This is what we mean, because there are different child and they have different taste, different interest, different mental level, different ability. So accordingly in the curriculum we have to set the content at various levels and different types. So when we select the content for particular child, particular group, we can teach accordingly and we can choose accordingly that content. So psychologists opined that there exist individual differences. Each child has its own capacity of learning, different interest, different attitude, different thinking and personality type. If we talk about first of all learning, there are different learning styles, and the psychologists like Pavlov, Skinner, Thorndike, Kohler, Kafka and so many others which I am not mentioning. So there are great psychologists who have given the learning theories that some say, for example, Thorndike said that the children learn with trial and error. Then Skinner and Pavlov, they gave the conditioning theory. Then Kohler and Kafka, they talked about insight learning theory. So different psychologists in the field of learning gave their theories, which definitely help the curriculum framers that how to select the content in a different manner, because the learning style or the learning theories which have been given by the psychologist will be reflected in the curriculum only. So it will help the curriculum framers. Then there are different learning styles. Each child has a different study habits. So you cannot force a particular child that you study in the morning or you study in the evening, or there are when we talk about styles, there are different learning styles. Or when we talk about teaching methods, there are different teaching methods, whole and part method or repetition method. Some students want that it should be taught in a part method, some prefer that it should be taught in a whole method, or some want more repetition because some students are bright in the class and others are average. So after talking about the learning style and learning methods, we talk about interest. Some interests are inherent and some interests are learned from the environment. Then attitude, some have different attitudes from the other children. So how to teach or how to develop the desirable attitude among the children. Then thinking, because earlier to this I have spoken to you that we are not supposed to give to the child the information and knowledge only, rather we have to enable them to think critically, because the problems and its types keeps on changing. So the children should have the ability to think critically, that when a different situation arises, when a kind of different problem arises, how to think and how to manage, or how to face, or how to solve those challenging issues. And if we talk about personality type, there are different personality types. Some children are introvert and others are extrovert. So if we deal with the children in the class, we see some are very shy and timid, but they are intelligent, and others are outspoken. So their types are different. Psychologists have given the types and trait theory in the area of personality. So these type and trait theories will help the curriculum framers while selecting the content, that how to teach a particular child, because first we have to see the personality type of the child, then we have to select the content, and then we have to select the methods, because we cannot select the same method for each child, because their likings are different. When we are talking about personality types, their types is different. So through curriculum we aim to promote learning, but on the other hand, emotional needs of the children should not be ignored. Of course, we are talking about the global competition, and we know that we are preparing our children, that we have to keep pace with the developed countries, we have to promote learning. We are living in the age of digital era, so more and more information and knowledge we have to provide our students. But side by side, when we are talking about promoting learning, we have to take care of the emotional needs of the children, because when we were talking about learning styles and learning theories, then we talk about transfer of learning. It is also important then how to transfer the learning, because after learning the concepts, after gaining the concepts in any subject in the class, the child has to enter in the real life situation. So they should learn how to transfer that knowledge in particular practical area, because we focus that they should know how to transform knowledge and information into wisdom. So children's emotional needs should not be ignored. Along with academic growth, emotional aspect has to be seen. Suppose you as a teacher have chosen a very good topic, and you have a good mastery on the communication skill, and you have a mastery on the content of that topic, and you have made arrangement of teaching aids, you have computer, you have PPT with you, but a particular child when in your class is sitting emotionally disturbed, will not be benefited with your methods, with your style, with your teaching aids, with your PPT, because first of all, as a teacher, you have to give emotional support to that child, because if the child is emotionally disturbed, will not be able to grow academically. So that's why the psychological foundations affect the curriculum, because the curriculum framer has to take into consideration the emotional aspects, emotional needs of the children. So it is neither possible nor desirable to take all children on one and same level. It becomes essential to make different kind of curriculum for all children. So try to understand what I want to say, that when children have different personality type, when they have different capacities, they have different attitude and different emotional level. So it is essential for the curriculum developers that they give the variety and various level and stages to the curriculum, so that after seeing the particular target group which is before them, the teacher can select the content that this child which I have to deal with is that kind of personality and is having so much capacity to learn. Then because if we teach a child or we want something more from a child which is the beyond the capacity of the child, what will happen? The fatigue will come physically and the child will be frustrated. So we are not to make the child frustrated, rather we have to facilitate the learning, and it will be possible when the curriculum framers keep in mind the psychology of the learners. Because I have talked about the study habits, I have talked about learning theories, transfer of learning, personality type. Piaget has given different stages of learning, different stages of growth. So when we are teaching the small children, we have to keep in mind the stages given by Piaget, that at this particular level the capacity of a child of learning will be of this level. So beyond that level we cannot touch the content. So it means that while developing the curriculum, if the curriculum framers keep in mind the psychological conditions, psychological background, it will help them to develop the curriculum in an effective manner. Suppose we are trying to construct curriculum for students of a particular level, then it is essential to keep in mind the psychological conditions of those children, what they want and what is desirable to teach them. Because of course we have set our educational goals, our educational objectives, but we have to see that there are the differences among the children. If the child is not having that kind of capacity, so we have to see what is desirable to teach them. Of course, we as a teacher will make efforts to increase the capacity of the child by providing good learning style, by providing good emotional support, by providing good physical facilities. So this way psychology also influence the curriculum. If the school take care in fulfilling the various needs of children, like need for love, need for belonging, need for security, self-respect, understanding of self and self-actualization, then the children will learn better. When we talk about self-actualization, the great psychologist Maslow, his name comes on our lips. We talk about self-actualization, but when the need of food, home, means shelter, or the security is covered, then the child thinks for love, then the child thinks for security, and after fulfilling the basic needs, the child thinks for self-respect. If any individual is hungry, will not be able to think for the respect, then after fulfilling these needs, then the child thinks for the self-respect or understanding of self. Then above all, one reaches at the stage of self-actualization, which is hardly achieved by few persons, because throughout the complexity of life one is involved, or one is busy in just arranging these basic needs or need for self-respect or other aspects or understanding of self, and it is rare that one reaches the self-actualization stage, which is really difficult to reach, because Maslow has explained this self-actualization stage very well. And if the curriculum framers, while framing the curriculum, keep in mind all these things, then it will be helpful. Then we talk about, after talking about these personality types or motivation type, then we talk about creativity. All children have creativity in them, but we parents, we teachers, we teacher educators have to identify that type of creativity, that trait of creativity in a particular child. If the right occasion, right opportunity is given to the child as per the needs of the child, then the child will get the opportunity for expression of that creativity. So, the psychologists have given the idea of creativity, which will help the curriculum framers while selecting the content for a particular child. As I was speaking to you in this very lecture, that if a child is having interest in sports and you want to teach music to that child, will not take interest. So, in this way, we as a teacher has to identify that trait of creativity among the children, because if that trait is recognized, then what will happen? Then the curriculum framer will be able to select the content in that particular topic that it is helpful for a particular group. So, it is expected that curriculum should teach the children to maintain balance between individual needs and social needs. See, when we are talking about maintaining the balance between individual needs and social needs, first a child or a human being tries to fulfill individual needs. Then in the society or in the school, school is also a miniature form of society. Child is taught that the society or its needs are also important, because we are living in the society. So, it is important that sometime or most of the time it is our duty that we have to keep the social needs or the social welfare on the upper hand in comparison to individual needs. So, psychologist has given various aspects like learning, personality, different growth and development and its different rate, then creativity, then motivation. So, all these aspects help the curriculum framers, because when they frame, when they develop the curriculum, if they know the psychology behind the learners, then it will be helpful for them to set the topics in the curriculum at various levels. And teachers, while teaching, they can select that this content will be suitable for this particular target group, because I have spoken to you that Piaget has given very effectively the stages of development, that at this level, at this age group, child learns this much, and at this level child learns this much. So, there are very different stages which has to be seen, which have to be kept in mind by the curriculum framers. So, we have come to know the psychological foundations of curriculum. Again, I am trying to revise this thing for your convenience, that learners try to understand, my dear friends, that we are talking about the psychological foundations of curriculum. It means you can say that the curriculum is influenced by the psychology of the learners. So, if the curriculum framers, while selecting or while developing the curriculum, keeps in mind the psychology of the learner, then it will be helpful for curriculum developers, for the teachers, and moreover it will facilitate the learning for the children. So I hope it will be helpful for you to know the psychological foundation of curriculum and how psychology has influenced the curriculum and how curriculum development is influenced by the psychology. So I hope these psychological foundations and their knowledge will be helpful for the learners. So thank you very much.